something about controlling your emotions. It's not that we don't want emotion. A certain amount of you want to be happy. Now, what if it made you happy just to lay in your bed and read a book all day? Which would make me very happy. But if I did that forever, then I wouldn't have any money to pay the bills, and then I wouldn't have a bed, and I wouldn't have a house, and pretty soon I'd be sitting on a corner reading a book that I found in a garbage can, you know? So you think certain things will make you happy, but you have to do other things like work and get the money to pay the bills. So there's a trade-off. You can have a certain amount of happiness, but you have to work also. We don't want to not be angry. You know, when you see injustice or when you see someone being like misused, like if I see anyone say, oh, you retard, you know, I get a little, But if I go, don't you ever say that, you stupid idiot, and then I react with anger. Instead I go, can I just chat with you for a second? You know, my older sister, you know, she had a brain injury, and people would call her a retard, and it just breaks my heart. Is there any way you think maybe you can kind of not use that word? And then they usually look at me like, whoa, I didn't even realize. I never raise my voice. I never yell at the person. I very calmly say, I don't like that word. And then you might think, well, Ellen, why do you feel like you have to say anything? And I just do. I don't internalize it. I don't get nervous about it. I just very calmly say it. And most people just don't even realize what they're saying. They don't even realize. Or another popular thing is, oh, I think I got Alzheimer's. I don't like that phrase. I don't like it when people say that because there's a lot of people who do have that. And but I don't say anything to them about that. But I don't get all internalized about this anger. How many times do things happen where you start yelling and screaming back at the person? I had this new thing where I think, what if I had everyone in Prayadoff watching me now? Would I react the same way? Would I yell or would I swear? I mean, I have a little bit of Irish, you know, temper. Would I want everyone in the group seeing me lose my temper? And that kind of, and then you think about, what are you getting mad about? Are you going to think about this the next time you're upset? It just seems like we need to reel our emotions in. Sometimes it says you need to disassociate yourself from what's happening. Find something like that would just get you off that worry train or get you off that nervous train. The other day I thought about it and I thought of a purple elephant with 4 trunks. I said, imagine a purple elephant with 4 trunks, and it gets your mind. Pick something. Pick something. Pick like anything that gets your mind off what you're worrying about and what you're angry about. And a lot of times what helps me is the Hail Mary too. And whenever I say the Hail Mary for peace, I think she means it peace for us. So it says disassociate yourself, or say, you know, I'm going to get mad at this person, but not today. I'll wait till tomorrow and get mad about him. I'm mad at it. And by the next day, you might not feel the same way. A lot of times it's better to say, what just happened there? What's going on here? Let me see if I can understand it. Try to dissect it. Be curious. A lot of times when I lose my temper and when I'm upset, I'm either tired, sick, I don't feel good.
Or you're watching a shoe.
Or I'm watching SU. Yeah, that's true, Bob. I have to reel myself in. I have to say things like, it's only a game. They're young guys. It's not their fault. What about Coach Boeheim? Why does he keep doing zone when he should be doing man-to-man? You know, and reel myself back in. But you're right. I need to put things in the proper perspective to say, what's going on here? Pretend you have an audience. Pretend Father Pryor is standing next to you when you're speaking to that person. Would you say the same things if Father Pryor was in the room, or if your mother? I always say to my kids, you will lead a very good life if everything you do, you imagine me seeing it. And they're like, oh, Mom, don't put that image in my head, you know. But, you know, are there things that you wouldn't react the same way? And don't we do it to our husbands? Don't we? And our wives? I can't tell you how many times I've been tired or upset, and Bob will say the most banal, inane thing, and I'll be like, I can't believe you're saying that to me. I can't believe you're doing that. And he's like, whoa, you know, why did that happen? We don't need to take out on the person who loves us the most when we're tired or we're angry. We need to communicate. One of the things is, I'm so curious, or how interesting that you feel so comfortable that you can say that to me. I find that interesting. You know, I didn't realize we were that close, that you would feel comfortable saying that, you know. Or someone will say, you know, oh, you know, everyone I see in the Pray It Off group looks sick, they've lost so much weight, and this is a really heavy person. Well, why don't you join, and then maybe I'll stop you right before you get to that I'm sick look, you know. We can't change other people. So many times I've heard people say to me, my mother, not my mother, they said this to me, my mother drives me crazy. My mother says this to me and that to me. And I'll say to them, now, correct me if I'm wrong, isn't your mother 91? And they'll say, yeah. I go, do you think she's going to change? She's 91. The only thing we can change is our reaction to the person. You know, when my mother will say things like, you know, I had a couple of drinks on Christmas when we had to get together at her house, and she's like, I can't believe you were boozing it up on Christmas. I can't believe it. I thought you were on a diet. I thought you were supposed to be on a diet. You were having those light beers. You know, light beers, they still add up. I'm like, thanks, Mom. Thanks for mentioning that. You're right. I probably shouldn't have had those. I'm so glad you called that to my attention. Thank you, Mom. You know, and I might have a few years ago said, you know, Mom, it's none of your business. What do you care what I do? You know, it's so funny. I never would have said that ever. I have never talked back to my mother, and I'm 56. But I've stewed about it. I can't believe she said that to me. I can't believe she did that. But you know what? Let it go. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If we just think to ourselves, say something bizarre to break your state of mind. If you're angry, if you're upset, think of the purple elephant with 4 trunks. Then try to get curious. What's really happening here? Is this person upset with me, or are they having a bad day? Or is this the way they are and they're never going to change? Try to probe further. Is everything all right? Is something on your mind? Are you tired? Are you upset? Then try to come up with a solution. If you're really upset, say, you know what? I'm going to revisit this tomorrow and see what I think about it. Don't take life so seriously. Life is too short for us to act serious all the time. If something bad happens, just say, whoa, what was that? I didn't expect that to happen. Pretend you're a character in your own play and try to switch it up. Try to have different lines. You know, sometimes my kids will say, well, I didn't tell you because I knew what you were going to say. I don't even have to talk. They know what I'm going to say. I don't even have to talk. And I'm like, really? How interesting. Well, tell me now. And then I'll say something so completely different. They go, oh, you're just doing that now, you know. But try to say different lines than people expect from you, and it really will mix it up. I love this line here. True, lasting success can only exist when the soul, mind, body, and emotions are aligned. We will never lose weight and keep it off unless our emotions, our faith, the whole package. Because if we're on that train and we're going to go off the track whenever somebody looks at us cross-eyed, whenever a customer wants to talk to the supervisor, whenever our husband's upset, our kids are sick, or whatever, we're never going to lose weight. We're never going to keep it off, because our drug of choice is the food. It always lets us down. It has never, ever been there for us. I'm going to go right over into this dealing with negative emotions. It's the same thing. Read it when you get home. Sadly, many people choose to handle negative emotions by avoidance or denial. Maybe you're not the person who goes, I can't believe you said that. I can't believe you did that. Maybe you just go into this avoidance and denial. Like maybe you're saying, I'm really not fat when you weigh 371. I'll get to it someday. I'm going to forget about that. Then you go to the doctors and you have high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and you're like, oh, I guess that avoidance and denial didn't do me much good. Or you don't say something to someone and it builds up and it builds up and it builds up, and then when you finally do let loose, you're bringing up things they did in 1989. Well, what about that time in 1989 when you said this? And they're like, whoa, where did that come from? Because you've got this little sheet in your head that you're having this tally on. If you deal with things when they happen and you say, you know what, I might have had a cheeseburger today, tomorrow I'm going to have a salad, just don't. I have to help myself by toughening up, because if I don't, I'm not going to enjoy life. I'm not going to enjoy the good things in life if I'm always worried about this, this, and this. So you're not perfect. Who is? Can someone who's perfect here raise your hand?
If I was, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah, I don't know who would. I don't know. We're just not perfect. Also, we have to have, our emotions are a call to actions. When I had several emotions the past couple weeks, my call to action was, I need to deal with this. God lets us deal with things when we're ready. We're ready to lose weight because we're here. We're ready. We're ready. He knows I'm finally ready to deal with that train that I let go crazy and build and build and build. He knows I'm finally ready to toughen up. And when I say toughen up, what kind of a Christian are we if we don't trust in God? Do you think St. Paul was a tough guy? Do you think he was tough in his emotions and his convictions? I don't see St. Paul as a mamby-pamby. Oh, I don't know. Luke gave me a dirty look the other day, and I'm really upset about it. You know, I wonder what's on Luke's mind. You know, he didn't go there. He was more like, this is what we're going to do, and he was confident. Let's talk about fear. After you've done as best as you can, you have to have faith. If you're hurt by someone, you might have misinterpreted the situation. If you're frustrated by something, sit back and think, well, maybe it'll pass. If you're disappointed, think everything happens for a reason and trust in God. This is such a powerful article. I really want you to read it at home. But I underlined this one. Just because something is right for you does not mean it is right for everyone else. How many times have you gotten upset with someone when they don't think the same way as you or do the same thing as you? They're not you. You're yourself. You have to look at it like, well, I believe in being thankful and writing thank you notes. And if I give somebody something and they don't write me a thank you note, does that mean they're not thankful? Maybe their mother didn't instill it in their mind. It's not a big deal, Ellen. Let it go. That's what we have to tell ourselves. Just like exercise, the more we try to control our emotions, the better we'll get to it. All right, I'm going to hang up right there, Bobby, because I want to talk about bacon for